Hi Cancers. This reading is for anyone who identifies as or finds themselves terribly interested in a Cancerian energy at this time during Gemini season 2019 or just during the end of May 2019 for some. I do think the reading will see us through Gemini season 2019 since it's so late in the month before I am able to put out a May reading for you, Cancers. But like Sagittarius, and you've got the Queen of Fire, Queen of Spears in this deck, Rods or Wands in reverse here. But like Sagittarians, I think this actually works out for us Cancers because your last reading was a Taurus season reading, Taurus season 2019. So I know we're a few days into Gemini season 2019 already, but let's just see what comes out for Cancers at this time as we are quickly approaching your season, Cancers. And that Queen of Wands in reversed is crossed with the Devil. You've got the Queen of Swords, Queen of Air in reverse in the root of the situation. Judgment in your recent past is also reversed. I feel like someone's having trouble forgiving someone or themselves for something, finding absolution in a situation. There's possibly some karmic ties, bonds, chains even, looking at the Devil card, that some karma, some karmic ties that have not come to a conclusion or completion yet, Cancers. And it looks like in the recent past that karmic energy is very unsatisfying. Like I said, someone's searching for forgiveness, someone's searching for absolution. It really looks and feels like someone is caught up in a karmic relationship, feeling chained to it, but it's not healthy for them. It's toxic. It's an addiction. And with the Ten of Swords here reversed in the near future, it looks like you're just going to, we are Cancers, going to keep moving forward with it. It may even be ultimately a three-party situation. Now, I feel like my messages never come out like this, but it's just so clear. I don't like to talk about three-party relationships. I don't like to label divine partnerships, karmic, soulmate, twin flame. It's not that I don't use those terms, but I don't want to label which one is which for you because there's so many people listening and they all end up looking similar and different depending on who's going through them, when and where, with who else. So sometimes it can be useful, those labels, but I like to stay away from them personally. But this looks like it is a karmic situation, a karmic relationship. Whatever is going wrong, whatever is making probably a mature feminine here feel crazy and illogical and like she can't see the past clearly, like she's feeling like she needs to flake out on other commitments in her life, because this relationship isn't going well, or whatever it is, you know, whatever is making her feel that way. It definitely looks like a karmic situation where karma is not clear, karma is not satisfying. Like I said, again, leave somebody looking for forgiveness, maybe for themselves, maybe for someone else. But with the Devil card here crossing and heading straight into your future being the Ten of Swords reversed, this is repeating a negative cycle. So it's like there's a karmic cycle happening that hasn't come to a conclusion. The lessons haven't been learned. The absolution, the forgiveness hasn't been found. That's what karmic ties, any kind of karma, but also then a karmic relationship or a relationship that is revolving around karma, karmic bonds. it hasn't come to a conclusion. It hasn't come to a satisfying ending. It hasn't reached that point of forgiveness. Yeah, it just seems pretty clean and clear. I want to show you these cards. I'm going to, Cancer, show you these cards. I'm going to flip them around towards you. We'll lay clarifiers together. I really don't think we need any. Maybe on these two advice cards, you've got the Tower and the Moon card in reverse here as a piece of advice. When you let this come crumbling down, Cancers, you will be disillusioned. It will be clear. Because I think what's going to happen, what you're headed toward, what you're going to find out is that there's a three-party situation here with the Three of Cups in reverse and the outcome of the situation right after that Ten of Swords, where you decide to repeat this negative cycle because you feel chained to this person. You haven't seen the truth because you're still caught up in this karma. There are lessons to be learned. This wants to come to a completion. Your karma will be cleared when it does come to a completion, at least in this area of your life regarding this particular tie, this particular person, at least. And I think it's all about one of you trying to juggle people and failing. And they are failing. Whoever's trying to juggle people, they are being found out. This is your other piece of advice, is the Seven of Swords. This is Aquarian energy, there's Capricorn energy, there's Sagittarian energy, but I don't really feel caught up in the signs at all right now. Someone in the root of the situation, probably again a mature feminine energy here, just did not see things clearly, didn't see the truth of the past. Like I said, was feeling illogical, was feeling obsessed with that past. And so it led them to an opportunity where they could have let this situation come to a completion, a close, an ending, right? But the lesson wasn't learned yet. The absolution wasn't there. The forgiveness wasn't there. This karma did not clear. Or just, it wasn't over yet. It wasn't finished yet. For some, it was just the fact that the lesson wasn't learned yet. So it wasn't over yet. And still the situation, this chain, this toxic, unhealthy attachment, addiction and chain here, left that queen. And I think this is the same mature feminine energy, like I said, feeling crazy, flaking out on other commitments in her life, feeling like she was not as powerful, not as influential, not as couldn't be as social and charming as her natural self is, right? She wasn't in any of those energies. She was just feeling sort of stepped on by this devil energy, by the connection itself, feeling a slave to the connection itself, feeling not herself because she was so invested in that connection, in trying to see the past clearly, what had happened and led to this point, but being unable to in the root of the situation there. She either couldn't find forgiveness for herself or for the other person, or simply just did not want to see the truth and learn her lesson, refused to. And like I said, it led right to this point where she's still feeling illogical, still feeling a little crazy, still feeling like flaking out on things. It happens to us all sometimes. There's no judgment here, but it's because of something toxic, something unhealthy that we're addicted to, something that we're going to repeat a negative cycle, painful negative cycle with. We're going to choose to repeat it in the near future on the path that we're on now. Cancers. I say we, I'm a Cancer rising. I'm interested to see how and if it continues, well, if it starts to resonate, and how so. But I just really see a relationship situation. So I know that doesn't really resonate for me, and I know that can't resonate for a lot of Cancerians. Maybe you can liken it to something else that's like a relationship, like with yourself, or just with a roommate, a friend, a loved one, a family member, what have you. But I just really see a karmic relationship that wants to come through and be talked about so much. And you know, what's going to happen is we're going to repeat that negative cycle with this person. We're going to stay chained to this addiction, person, habit, pattern, failing to see the truth, failing to learn our lesson, failing to find forgiveness for ourselves or someone else or both. And then ultimately we walk right into this, I think, third-party situation, or certainly a disappointment, okay, with the Three of Cups in reversed. If it's not specifically a three-party situation, then, you know, it's a disappointment of some kind. Maybe being so disappointed that we drink too much to try to drown our sorrows, so to speak, Cancers. But it just, with it falling right in line after the 7 of Swords, the Judgment card reversed, the Devil card, the 10 of Swords reversed, it looks like a 3-party situation, especially because what this is all about is somebody failing to juggle something. Maybe their time, their energy, their activity, but it just all puzzle pieces right together to say it's somebody failing to juggle 2 people. They weren't honest about it. They couldn't properly hide it either. Or if they have been able to in the very near future, they're not going to be able to. Some of you, you've already found this out. You know there was a 3rd-party situation and you're willing to try again, and it's just going to be the same thing again. And that's why we see the negative cycle repeating. There's a reason why you probably couldn't find forgiveness for this person yet. Some part of you was aware that they still weren't ready to be faithful or honest, right? You really are advised to go ahead and let everything fall apart and see what your new perspective offers from that point, because then you will be disillusioned. Then it will be a little clearer why you have felt so lost and anxious in regards to this person and this connection, why it has seemed like something that you are a slave to, that makes you not feel like yourself and leaves you unable to keep your commitments to other things and again, see things logically. You need rest, maybe Reiki is also advised here, but solemn contemplation and meditation. Again, yeah, you're not feeling like yourself. I do think that with the Lover's card having been on the bottom of the deck to start, that this is about a partnership of sorts, right? A lengthy entanglement. 2 people getting in bed together in some sense of the word. When really it has been, is, was, or will be a false start here. Something that has less passion and less sexual power than you think it does. I also think the Lover's card is just noting for us that we are, of course, in Gemini season. But I see so much with the Cancer, or the Chariot card in reverse too. I see so many indications that Cancers just are not feeling like themselves as we're coming into Cancer season. And that this person has already been found out. This person has been stealing time, energy from you, betraying you, lying to you in some way. And you've already know. It's already been found out. The 3-party situation. The dishonesty. I sense that this Tower moment has, you know, tried to happen already. Things have tried to fall apart and you didn't want to let them. You would rather skew your view of the person and the past and the events than just allow the truth to knock everything over for some reason. Again, no judgment in this. No judgment in this, because we all have our reasons at different points in times. Maybe you have a lot riding on this partnership. Whether it's business, romance, family, or otherwise. Maybe there's a lot hinging on it. But, you know, so I'm not laying any judgment on it. It's completely understood, but there's also the Judgment card in reverse here. So you're lacking judgment on the situation as well. Yes, that's saying the karma hasn't been cleared, the forgiveness, the absolution hasn't been found, but also with these 2 queens in reverse, this gives me the feeling, the energy of illogical, crazy, flaky, unreliable, unsociable, don't feel like being around people at all, maybe even kind of snippy with them where you're normally very loving, being harsh with your words with them, just, you know, seeming and feeling and being a bitch, frankly, because you're so consumed by the fires of this passion, this connection, which, you know, has lost a lot of its gleam, honestly, has lost a lot of its sexual power and passion. Maybe not for you, but there's indication here that it has then for this other person, which may be why there's this three-party situation happening. Again, not the kind of message I normally deliver. I try to stay away from it. It's just incredibly clear. And Saturn is still in Capricorn, Cancerians. It's not just us. Like, a lot of people are learning these really hard lessons, and will continue to. We've also got Venus in Taurus. So I feel like, to me, with that, and I'm an amateur astrologer, but I feel like this is a good time for you to accept this lesson, to find forgiveness for the unforgivable, meaning for what they've done, the betrayal that this person has bestowed upon you. Thank you for the box of darkness, dude. But also forgiveness for yourself, for pretending not to see it for so long, making excuses for them, just refusing to look at the past clearly because you just really wanted to believe the best in them and that it was possible. And maybe it's not them with a three-party situation. Maybe they fucked around so long, excuse my French, maybe they messed around so long that by the outcome of this situation, it's you who now has an extra person, an extra party involved, right? Or maybe there is no third party, but like I said, this could just represent a lack of celebration and a disappointment and the need to leave a group. Maybe it's just that, you know, you just come to see how toxic, unhealthy this is, that it's not finished in the near future, but because you won't let it finish, when really things want to fall apart. The truth wants to be seen and leave you in a disillusioned state. You know, this forgiveness wants to be found. The karma wants to clear. The lessons have to be learned. I do think that there was juggling at some point, though, with this Two of Coins in reverse. And it could have just been people juggling tasks, sure. Like I said, it could be your energy, your money that you were unable to correctly balance and reserve to juggle, right? But we also have the Seven of Swords, suggesting that you see the thief, that you see what and whom is stealing time and energy from you. This is not always a negative message, though. It could be advising you to steal time for yourself, because we did also see here that you need some time for meditation and contemplation and solitude, solemn contemplation and meditation, so that you can get to feeling like yourself before your season, right? So that you can get that spark of passion and inspiration back, because whether we're talking about the passion simply lacking in your relationship or otherwise, you are feeling unmotivated and uninspired. That's what leads somebody to being flaky, etc., right? Trying to stretch yourself too thin. You need a lot of attention probably on your emotional well-being as you're going through all of this, but you still have a lot of other things on your plate, right? So you know, all of these things can be talking about a lot of different things. I just saw that message so clearly and strongly. I'm not experiencing anything like that in my personal life currently, so it wasn't, you know, it wasn't standing out to me because it's a message that relates so deeply. It's just obvious. It's as if I said, hey, can you make this one really clear before, you know, maybe some part of me did before I drew, but it's just so clear. That's specifically what we talked about first is the message for a lot of you. And I want to say, especially if you've already experienced finding this person out, you've already realized, this is, especially this particular depiction, this does remind me of someone who, yes, they're taking in a sneaky way without being honest, but because I, you know, have a relationship with this character and this Game of Thrones tarot deck, I just feel like this often is indicating someone who's taking something that they feel like belongs to them. So this person may be stealing your time by wasting your time, betraying you by lying to you about who else is involved, but on some level they might feel like that's their right, like you belong to them, or they should have the right to be with whomever they want to, and everybody should be fine with it. I'm not saying that we need to humor that, but it could help you accept the lesson, accept the truth of the situation, accept that this is not going to turn into what you want. They are not going to turn into who you need, because they may just believe that that's the way things should be, that they should be able to I don't know, have a harem if they want to, or have a side piece if they want to, or it's almost like the energy, the feeling of somebody who wants to have an open relationship, a casual open relationship, but they don't want to tell you that. They want all the benefits of that, but then they don't want you to know that because they don't want you to be with anybody else, right? They want all the benefits of an open casual relationship, but also all the benefits of a closed monogamous relationship, knowing that you're loyal to them, and etc. That's extreme. That's all the way down on one extreme end of the spectrum of what's coming through here. That's not, you know, going to be for every person, but if that rings true, there's a reason, right? If that resonates, there's a reason. And this is extreme. This feels extreme. It isn't always either. It can just be talking about a Capricorn, any type of addiction, but any type of unhealthy, toxic addiction, even if we are just talking about television, sugar, etc., those things are really terrible for us. And it is extreme. It is intense. It does need addressed. We downplay it, I guess. I do, compared to other things, but it shouldn't be. Compared to other crises, emergencies, priorities. But yeah, what I see coming through here for sure is that you didn't want to see the truth about this person and what they'd done to begin with. The truth was handed to you. They've been found out. You may even empathize with that feeling that they have, that they deserve the things that they're trying to take from you and other people. But that doesn't mean that you have to allow them to torture you. That doesn't mean that you have to sacrifice what you want and the relationship that you feel you deserve and any time and energy in your life just because you empathize with the fact that they can't see another way forward. That's their path, and that's, you know, that's their life. And then they'll need a partner who can either put up with that or to learn lessons themselves, right? So that shifts for them. But we want to get back to this place where you're feeling more like yourself again, where you are able to find, as I said, that sexual power, that inspiration, that motivation. It is lacking for one of you, if not both. If you're not feeling that, then I do think that could definitely be something that they're feeling, and part of the catalyst, the reason why this third party is here in the outcome. And really, if there's a third party there in the outcome, it's a continuation. That's part of the cycle repeating. That's part of the truth you didn't see. That's part of the betrayal that's here. That's part of the Tower being here, why things need to fall apart, and you will feel disillusioned once they do. This is a little longer than I meant it to be, as always. Aren't they always, Cancers? Let's just really quickly get a clarifier on the Moon reverse and the Tower card, like I said I would, just to... You've got the Six of Wands, the Six of Fire, and the Knight of Cups. Yeah, and I think, okay, so what I think is happening here, Cancers, is that's going to be a victory for you when you allow this Tower moment to happen, when you allow things to fall apart the way that you know they've been wanting to. Now, if that's not you, then this part of the message, or maybe the message in general, is not for you. But for those of you who resonate, when you let things fall apart the way they've been trying to, see the truth, what's happened in the past, what's happening currently, who is stealing from you, how they're stealing, and maybe why they're stealing. For some of us, the why to things, though it seems unnecessary, can really help us find acceptance and then forgiveness that follows for any type of situation. And you may be one of those. Which is why we expanded a little bit on the fact that, you know, it's not just that you see who has been stealing from you, but it may be important for you to note that maybe they think that they deserve what they're taking, your time, your energy, that you belong to them for some reason, etc. That sounds awful. That doesn't sound healthy to me. That sounds incredibly unhealthy and toxic, and like a good way to waste a whole life. But it's up to, you know, each individual what they're going to engage in. And I know that your situations involve so many more details and complexities and specifics than I can glean just from this here. So again, no one's laying judgment, but you should be. that, you know, no one is laying judgment about this situation, but the cards are saying you aren't either where you should be. It's your life. We all have to lay some judgment about people and situations in order to put one foot in front of the other and move forward, right? And yours is lacking. Your discernment on this person and situation has been missing as well. So no wonder you're uninspired, you're unmotivated, you can't dedicate your energy to multiple projects you have on the table. You're all consumed with this flame. With for a lot of you, probably someone who you believe to be a twin flame or a divine partner of the like, and it's actually a karmic lesson, a karmic partner, as it were, right? Now, I think, you know, somebody can be a karmic partner and then you find out it's a twin flame. I don't know about false twin flames. Like I said, I like to stay away from those labels and just call them divine partnerships. But the fact of the matter is that every divine partnership is orchestrated to teach us lessons. And the choice to ignore those lessons, ignore these betrayals, ignore the truth, and your own disconnection from yourself in the name of taking care of, being with, loving, knowing, holding the hand of someone else, that choice is what we see in the near future. That is this negative cycle repeating. We'll get one clarifier on that as well. That choice belongs to us. Those choices belong to us. It seems like what a thing to do. It seems like a really intense choice to make. It really seems like a sacrifice of self. We don't see the Hangman anywhere, but I'm not sure that's how I would have read that card if it did come up. So no wonder it didn't. But I probably would have just made me think that you were just waiting on this person to change still, and I would have read it in that kind of shallow way. But it's what overall we're looking at a sacrifice of self, particularly, I think, you know, a mature feminine energy, okay? But that doesn't mean that it can't be a man who's more in his feminine energy, while this woman who has been running around on him is more in her masculine energy. Simply not had the energy. This person who's been the thief, the liar, the betrayer, they simply have not had the energy or the beliefs required to make this partnership work, for one reason or another. But possibly, and for a lot of you specifically, in terms of they haven't had the energy because they've been given some to somebody else. They haven't shared your beliefs because they've been believing that they should be able to have whoever they want, whenever they want, or both of these people, even though they don't know about it, you know, something like of that nature. Yeah, and I think the Knight of Swords is coming through here for us on top of the Ten of Swords reversed to say, if you want to change this future, and not all of you do, but if you want to change this indication here that you're going to repeat a negative cycle, you're going to stay connected to, chained to something that is unhealthy for you, that keeps you from seeing truth, learning lessons, feeling motivated, okay? Then meditate frequently. That's the second time we've seen a meditate frequently message come up. You need to meditate. In fact, if you want to change this future outcome, you need to meditate frequently. You need to start a routine today, right now. You can still edit this path. I always believe that that's possible. But we're going to look at the Three of Cups, the clarifier on the Three of Cups reversed as well. Yeah, I still feel like you can edit the path. 3 threes. Okay, so the Three of Pentacles just came up. The Three of Swords just came up. This one's already here in reverse. 3 threes. I do feel like it's a three-party situation that's unfolding, that has been taking place, continues to take place. Maybe the other person in the relationship is this person's effing ego, right? Maybe it's, you know, a manipulator in their family who has a lot of control over them and shouldn't be a third party in your relationship. Maybe it's their work. They're so addicted to it. They're so chained to that it's taking over your relationship and you know, so it could be another energy that's like having another person that they're like cheating on you with, or being disloyal or unfaithful to you with. But so, you know, take it how it resonates with you. But this is what came out as our clarifier on that Three of Cups. a divine partnership wants to be on the table, wants to be heard. Maybe it is a soulmate, but they also have you also have karmic lessons to learn with them. Those sort of overlaps and confusing ins and outs, one, we can get into in a personal reading, but two, that's why I stay away from the divine, labeling the divine partnerships, because I feel like sometimes I all but know sometimes that it can be all of the above. It can be one that encompasses elements of every single different one you try to label, right? So, you know, why try to define somebody's experience before they get to just have it and describe it for themselves? And I know it's very, I'm going to say again, I know it's very useful sometimes to have those labels, but for example, you know, I see indications of twin flames, I see indications of karmic partnerships, I see indications of soulmates. Just depends how you read. But what's coming through is that it feels like a divine connection, because it is. It feels like it's a partnership that had the potential to be a soul match. Happens to be my favorite of those labels, but because it could have been. Maybe it still holds the potential, but not if you're going to run from the truth of the situation. What has happened, what is happening, what needs to happen, who needs to be called out, what lessons need to be learned here. Someone's got to stop juggling and stretching themselves so thin. I mean, it's hard to deliver this message without putting my own feelings on it, because if it was me, and what I want to say to you, like as a friend and as someone who does care for you, I want to say, get away from this. Get away from them. If it's a third party situation, get out. Hell no. You don't know my worth? No, absolutely not, friend. No. But I think it's somebody who, you know, has been in and out of the picture. And so that makes them really addicting to you. They come in just long enough to get you hooked, and then they disappear. Maybe they're with somebody else, and back and forth and back and forth. And it's a great way to keep you hooked on them. But the disillusionment that's in the advice and that really can free you here is something you have to give to yourself. Yeah, free yourself from this skewed, warped caricature of them that is much kinder actually to their image than the one that they've been trying to show you through their actions, because it's trapping you, and essentially you're doing it to yourself. I know a lot of this has been about them doing something to you, but the point of us self-developing over it, tarotting over it, analyzing it this way, digging into it this way is really to come to the crux of the matter, which is always that you decide what experiences you are going to have, what truths you're going to allow yourself to see. And they've been trying to illuminate themselves for you. I imagine this wanted to come to completion around the last full moon, and you didn't want to let that happen. And I get it. I so get it. Honestly, I get it so much that no part of me is trying to talk you out of this. Even if you're the third party situation, it's heartbreaking, but you just cannot give up on it. You're going to keep the chains there because maybe part of you wants to learn these lessons and wants to learn them the hardest way. And maybe maybe you need to, for some unbeknownst to us, some destiny that hasn't shown up on the table yet, because we're just looking at Gemini season. We don't know what happens for you 10 years down the road. That's a reading we could do, but maybe you're headed somewhere that you needed to learn these lessons the hardest possible way you could learn them in order to be ready for something else, you know, for maybe light work you're supposed to do in the future. Something like that. It's definitely possible. So not trying to talk you out of the heartbreak. It does look like a three-party situation. It does look like you're going to find that out again in the near future, especially if you're somebody who already knew that about this person. Yeah. Let's get one more. Let's get a couple more, actually. I can't stop. Let's do one on the Devil and one on the Judgment card. Yeah, so this is somebody who is making you a love offer. But to get more specific for you, we're probably talking about those partners who are a little timid. They're a little shy when it comes to actually offering a commitment. It seems like a genuine love offer because there is a genuine connection and match here. It's, you know, it seems it seems divine because it is. It seems fated because it is. It seems meant to be because it is. And it seems like real love being offered because it is. But their version of love, you don't receive what the kind of love they want to give. And vice versa, I don't think, you know, because they want to, a lot of them, most of them, what we're looking at, they want to be able to have a more open thing, a more open relationship, a more casual connection where they're able to be with other people. And for some of you, if they feel like you belong to them, it may be a matter of they want to be with other people, but they don't want you to. It just makes me, irate. It makes me livid. That's hilarious. That's a joke, right? That is not something, like, I can't tell you what to do, but that is not something to be considered. No, that is not something to even be considered. Unless that's your thing. Unless you want to be part of somebody's harem, or whatever the male version of a harem is. I'm not sure. But, you know, maybe that's what you want. If that's what you want, then you're getting what you want. This doesn't look like a reading for somebody who's getting what they want, though. Not currently. And like I said, I really feel like maybe there's a reason you seem to want to learn these lessons the hardest way. Maybe you need to. That is sometimes the case, is we are being prepped for something epic later, years later, by learning these lessons real hard, real good. Maybe. Maybe, yeah. Could certainly be the case. We'll get one on that Judgment card in reverse. One about those lessons that haven't been learned. Forgiveness that hasn't been found, maybe. Nine of Wands showing now, Seven of Wands. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to cut this off, Cancers, but these lessons that weren't learned in the recent past were very much about you standing up for yourself, standing up for what you believe in, rallying your own energy for your cause, the cause of being authentically you, being happy, being motivated, being inspired, having energy to give to other people and things that you love and that make you who you are, because it has been so consumed. But at the same time, that's what you felt like you were doing by refusing to let things come to an end, by refusing to accept that this person was maybe unfaithful or maybe needed to be let go of in some way. That's what you felt like you were doing. You felt like you were standing up for what you believe in, standing up for what you want, for what you think you deserve. So yeah, a lot of you are experiencing that sort of paradox where you're almost well, yeah, it's definitely a paradox when we challenge the multiverse, challenge the divine. And I'm not saying that we're not co-creators and don't have free will, but you get to these points where everything in life, even the other person who you are trying to shape and mold into something that they are not, and even that person and everything around you all, the situation, etc., everything is trying to tell you this is not the person for you, the place for you, the situation for you, and you're just sort of and sometimes, you know, we contest that. We say, well, no, I think I know what's best for me. I think I know what I deserve. I think I know who I should be with. Let me decide, life, multiverse, divine. Let me tell you. I'm sick of you telling me. You know, that's a little bit of what's coming through here. Is it's a paradox, because you learning this lesson, feeling this heartbreak and feeling your way through this heartbreak and letting go of this person for at least a time, acknowledging that the two of you just don't love the same way, just don't communicate the same way, just don't want the same relationship. Learning that lesson, those lessons, clears your karma, puts you in a healthier, better state to receive what is meant for you. So it's a complete paradox. I mean, it's like people chugging, you know, chugging alcohol to you know, just glugging poison, gulp after gulp, glass after glass, night after night, and saying, oh, I deserve it. Do you, though? Because you're hurting yourself, you know, and people will talk about it like, oh, I deserve it, like a treat. That works if you're having a couple glasses of red wine with dinner, or you're having your annual blowout with friends that you never see. But if that's all you do to unwind and to relax every night, you know, you're slowly killing yourself, you're hurting yourself, you're poisoning yourself, and you will see the effects. And that's it's like the same dynamic where we hold on to that and say, no, I deserve this, but it's something bad for you. So essentially what you're saying is, I deserve this punishment. And maybe in that you need to question, have you found forgiveness for yourself for something that happened in the distant past that makes you believe you deserve this treatment? It seems like not. It seems like some of you, there's something from your even deeper past where you maybe made a mistake similar to what this person is doing, and you have never really forgiven yourself, or don't really feel like you deserve any better than what you've got yourself chained to now. And so you're trying to stand up for and defend something that you think you deserve and you think you want, but it's hurting you. So if that's what you're saying to yourself, I deserve this, and it's something that's hurting you, killing you even, then why do you think you deserve that? Is there a reason? For some of you, you know, that's tangling it up and complicating it unnecessarily a little too much for some, but for some, that's right on the money. Yeah, you are giving yourself what you think you deserve. There's just some reason in the distant past why you think you deserve this hellacious addiction for some reason. So slightly different messages for all. I know it might have gotten a little messy, a little confusing, Cancerians. It definitely got a lot longer than I meant. Again, doesn't it always? We will leave it in your capable hands moving forward from there. I don't want to. I want to keep digging into this message. So if you have anything to say about it, please let me know. I love your comments always, messages always, and I'm always happy to expand on the reading that was in a general reading, if that's what you'd like to do in a private reading. But any kind of private reading that you might want to have with me, you can find information about that down below. There are links and everything you need to know pretty much, but I'm also happy to work with you through email first. If you want to email me first at lunaticstarot@gmail.com, let me know specifics, questions, astrological makeup, or just what kind of reading you're interested in. Either way works for me, whether you want to follow a link or go that route. Thank you so much, regardless, for all of your support, just for tuning in, comments, as I said, emails, messages, yes, donations and orders, of course, shares, likes, subscribes, all of it. I appreciate it so much. It truly means the world to me. I love doing this. I hope that you all make wise choices for yourselves moving forward. Don't feel boxed in or determined by anything that's on the table here. This is, if it resonates, just a snapshot of the path that we're on now. And with that, I love you, Cancerians, and I will post another reading for you very soon. Enjoy Gemini season.